If your GSXR 600 or 750 won't start, chances are it could be the battery. Instead of replacing it with a lead acid battery like what would come from the factory, let's upgrade to a high performance lightweight lithium battery. Stick around, I'll show you how to do this the right way. We'll talk about some common mistakes and we'll also talk about why this upgrade makes such a difference. Alright, so we got our lithium battery here. The big thing you want to check is the model number for your bike. This is the correct model number for the late model GSXR 600 and 750s. The other thing you want to have is a charger. Now, this one's rated for lithium. You just want to make sure that you have one rated to charge a lithium battery. They are a little bit different than the lead acid battery, so just double check that. But good rule of thumb, I like to put a brand new battery on a charger overnight before I make an install on the bike, just to make sure everything's good to go and you got a full charge. Let's take a look at this battery. So here we got some hardware. We'll use that when we go to do the actual installation. We've got the battery itself here. So here's our lithium battery. Now, this battery is about 5 pounds lighter than the equivalent lead acid battery, so that's a big difference on a sport bike. We've got a set of instructions here and a couple of foam blocks. Now, you can use these to secure the battery in the battery box when we get to that stage. We'll see what ours looks like when we get out there. So we'll pop this guy open here. Let's see what this looks like. So this is our new lithium battery. You got some instructions here as well. This battery's shipped in sleep mode, so we need to press the restart button for 2 seconds to wake it up once we pull this off here. We'll hold this for 2 seconds, and we're gonna wake up this battery. Now I know in the GSXR 600 and 750s, the battery configuration has the positive on this side, negative on this side. So we can leave these in place for now, but these are the terminals we'll use when we actually install the battery in the motorcycle. So we got our charger here. Let's have a look. Now, this could be used in a number of different configurations. You can do trickle charge, you can do a fast charge on this battery. So we're just gonna set this up. And in the box here, we've got a couple of different wiring configurations. We won't be using this one right away. We'll just need these clamps right here to get this battery charged overnight. So we'll pull these out. Get that untwisted here. And we'll pull the actual charger itself out, just so you have an idea of what this looks like. So this is the Optimate lithium charger. We're gonna go ahead and set this up so it can charge overnight. All right, everything's charging. We've got that light lit up here. Now we just need to wait for this battery to finish charging. We'll get that green light and we'll know we're ready to go to install the battery in the bike. All right, so our battery's been charging overnight. We can see here everything checks out. We're good to go, fully charged. This battery is ready to be installed in the bike. Let's talk about tools for a second. Any of the modern late model GSXRs, this is a really simple job to replace the battery. You only really need a few hand tools. It's a couple of plastic pieces just alongside either side of the gas tank. You can usually get them off with your hands, but we've got a little pry tool if we need it. Then we've got to get the seat off. So all you need for that is a 5mm Allen key. That seat will come right off. And then you have the battery itself. Usually you can get those off with a number 3 Phillips. If they're really stuck on there or there's any corrosion, you might need a 10mm ratchet here. But other than that, this is a really simple job and the battery should come right out. Let's go have a look. We're out here at the bike. Step 1, need to get this seat off. To remove the seat on these late model GSXRs, you need a couple of tools. We need to get this plastic trim piece off and then we need to unbolt the seat. Let's take a look at how that's done. To get this seat out, we've got to remove this plastic trim piece. Now there's a little tab underneath here that holds it in and some Velcro pieces underneath here. You can usually get this with your hands, but you might need a little trim tool. Remember, always use plastic on this, never a screwdriver. So we can come right in here. Now we've got that tab out and you just pull. There's a little dimple there as well that goes in here. So that piece is off. Next thing we need to do is just unbolt the seat, and there's our 5mm Allen bolt right there. We'll just pull that out and then this side will be free. There we go. Let's head around to the other side. Same thing, we need to get this plastic trim piece off and get the seat unbolted on this side. We'll use our plastic trim tool to get in here behind this piece of trim. Sometimes these can be pretty tricky here. The trick here is to go slow so you don't crack this tab. Once that's out, you can pull. It might make a scary noise, but it'll come off, and here's the Velcro back here. Now we just need to unbolt the seat. You can see we've got another 5mm Allen bolt here. We'll get that off. Now our seat is free. The seat comes off from the front, and there's actually some tabs underneath that hold it into the bodywork there. You can see here under the seat, we've got our battery and some of the bike electronics exposed. We've got our battery here, positive and negative terminal. We've got our main fuse box. We've also got some relays under here for the cooling fan, fuel pump, turn signals, and side stand. So if you need to access any of that stuff, it's all under here. Let's get this battery out. Good rule of thumb for safety, we're always going to disconnect the negative lead first from a live battery. So let's go ahead and get that out with our Phillips. All right, this is for my quad lock charger, so we'll just set that aside for now. All right. Now we've got our negative terminal free. We'll pull that aside. Our positive terminal's over here. Again, I've got a quad lock charger attached as well, so you might not have that wire, but that's here. Let's get this positive wire detached here. So what we'll do is we'll set this quad lock charger aside here. And we've got that positive battery lead off, and now we're going to pull this old battery out. Both of these batteries are the same size. We got the same terminal arrangement here, so we know this lithium battery is going to fit great. One of the huge differences I wanted to point out between these two: one, this lead acid battery is filled with a liquid electrolyte. That makes this battery about 7.5 pounds. This lithium battery here is about 2.5 pounds, so we got a 5-pound difference here on a sport bike. If you've already removed the catalytic converter, you've got an exhaust system on here, between that and the difference in battery weight, you're looking at a 20-pound weight savings, so that's huge. And now that we've got our battery tray all clean, we can see this is very clean in here. Let's get our new battery all sized up and fitted in here. Let's see how this fits. Now, you really want to make sure this fits nice and snug, which it does. This fits perfectly in there. If not, remember, this came with some foam blocks that you can use to pad that up as well. So, all right, the first thing we want to do is get our positive terminal here installed. And with this battery, we need to slide these little blocks in that have the threads here. Now, we've also got our quad lock charger on this particular bike, and we need to get all this installed in this one positive terminal here. So we'll line that up. Get that screwed in really nice. And you don't need to tighten these too much. You just need them snug on this terminal so they won't loosen up as the bike drives. So that looks really good there. We'll put a cover over that in a moment. Now we need to go ahead and connect our negative terminal. Same thing, where we'll slide the little block with the threads in on the side here. And that's all set. And then we also have the negative side of our quad lock charger that needs to go on this battery as well. All right, so we've got all those lined up here. Go ahead and get that screwed down safely. Again, you don't have to tighten this too much, but it just needs to be snug enough so that this doesn't loosen up while you're riding on the bike. Get that snugged in there. Next thing we need to do is just put our positive cover back on. Now, these usually look like this. They come in a number of different shapes and sizes, but that just protects this terminal from hitting any metal. So we'll just want to make sure we get this covered relatively well here. We've got that there. Just come down along the side here, and of course this doesn't fit very well because of the quad lock charger, so what we can do is just put a zip tie on here to hold that in a little bit better so it doesn't go anywhere. And again, your bike might look a little different if you have different accessories here, but we just want to make sure we've got some protection on top of that terminal. All right, well, that's not going anywhere. We'll clean up our work here. And this install's all set. Now before we put the seat back on, we should start the bike and just make sure everything's all good to go with this new battery. So let's go ahead and do that and see how it sounds. Last step here is to just get our seat all installed. You'll see there's some little tabs back here. Those are going to hook underneath the body pieces back here. So let's get that seat all in place first. We'll want to just hook that under here. It should slide right in. Little tip here, just pull up on the back of that seat and make sure those tabs are in there. Next thing we're going to do is just screw our 5mm Allen bolt back in that holds the seat down. We'll put that back in here. These don't need to be super tight, just need to hold the seat down. And then we need to get our plastic trim piece put back in. Now the way I like to do this, I like to put this tab in first, right into that grommet right there. This will just slide right up underneath and you can actually feel it go into that hole. So there, now that's in there. Then I like to get our clip underneath. Once we're lined up, just get that Velcro stuck back in and we're done on this side. Let's go around and finish the other side. Exact same procedure here. We just need to put our 5mm Allen bolt underneath the seat on this side. Get that snug down here. Again, doesn't need to be super tight, just needs to hold that seat down. Good to go there. Next thing, we've got to get our trim piece back on. Let's get that tab in there first. So once you feel that in there, again, I like to get our little clip underneath there, get this all lined up. So we're all set. And now that is all set. Velcro is stuck and we are done. And that's it. Brand new lithium battery installed in your GSXR 600 or 750. That'll give you years of trouble-free maintenance. 3 really quick tips here as we end up. Remember, those battery posts are very fragile, so there's no need to over-tighten those. They could crack. Number 2, just when we were installing that battery here, remember ours was nice and solid in that battery tray. So if yours is loose, remember to put some foam shims in there like we saw that battery came with out of the box. And then number 3, that original lead acid battery is toxic. So just make sure you bring that to the proper recycling center. And there you have it. If this helped, don't forget, like and subscribe for more motorcycle tips. In our next video, we'll be talking about how to swap out the spark plugs on this bike for optimum performance. So we'll see you then.